What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And today we're going to talk about 2024's Devil's Night.
What do you know of the Bone Devil?
There was a time no one dared encroach on this land.
There is an elite group of monster hunters. They go by the name the Lost Blades.
Send a rider right away. I wish to speak with them as soon as possible.
What Majesty?
We're looking for the Lost Blades.
That is us.
You will bend at the knee, or the gods will bend it for you.
What have you heard of this Bone Devil?
Bone Devil had been ransacking the countryside for more than a year.
Looks like we're gonna be killing Bone Devil.
The Lord put this creature on Veroka for a reason.
All of you get some rest. We have a big day tomorrow.
Where is it?
Everywhere.
Swords!
I'm hungry.
Stay back! Take them away!
It's your fault.
Get back alive!
It's time for your benediction.
You swore an oath.
Keep going to the woods! She is mine! Ah!
So first of all, big shout out to Sonny and Michael Mahal of the Mahal Empire Entertainment Group for sending me the screener for this so that I could actually check it out before it comes out. It is due to come out in November, hopefully video on demand. I believe they're out for distribution right now in post-production. So hopefully sometime in November we'll be able to check this movie out video on demand. So big shout out to them for sending me the screener and let me take a look at it. I did have a wonderful time watching this movie. Now, if you guys aren't too familiar with the Mahal brothers and the Mahal Empire, well, I did a video for them a couple months back on Arena Wars, which also starred John Wells, as does this film. This is the third film I've seen John Wells in, and let me just say, John Wells is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors. He's extremely underrated. He's a superior actor that punches well above his weight in everything that he does, and it shows in this film as well. So the first thing I do want to talk about, obviously, with John Wells is the cast. There is some notable names in this movie. Eric Roberts, Daniel Baldwin, Angie Everhart. Now, I will say that Eric Roberts has a very small part, and I think Eric Roberts is just out at this point to try and become the actor with the most IMDb credits ever, because the man does like to work. He does do a lot of stuff throughout the course of the year, but it does a lot of stuff that's also very minor parts, very small parts, almost like a cameo type thing, just so he can get that credit. But that doesn't take away from his acting ability. Even though he was only in the movie for a minute, he does separate himself from the others. Angie Everhart, what can I say? She's tried and true. She's been in the business a very long time. The only thing I didn't like about Angie Everhart was the accent. She tried using a French accent in this film, and there were times where it was actually very good, and then there was other times where it wasn't so great. But besides that, class act, well, does well at what she does. So props to her on that. Daniel Baldwin, I did like his character. Again, another big name that had a small part. I would have loved to have seen more dialogue out of Daniel Baldwin. I don't know if he gets paid by the line and they couldn't afford to give him any more dialogue, but nonetheless, the few lines that he had were delivered very well. And we're going to talk about the acting in this movie in just a second, but Daniel Baldwin, notable name, Eric Roberts, Angie Everhart, and obviously John Wells is the main character, all did a great job throughout the course of this movie. So when you dive into Devil's Night, the first thing you're going to notice is that the cinematography and the production quality are actually pretty good, especially for an independent type film. Now, this was done on a budget, I want to say probably, if it's anything like the Mahal's other movies, it's probably somewhere between 200 and 300 grand. They have become a masterclass at the Indiegogo and delivering a good quality product on a modest budget like that, and do it through crowdfunding. They've become masters at making that happen, and they do get a lot for their money, and it shows with this film. So that being said, let's dive into the acting portion of this. So as I said before, some of the acting was a little wonky. Angie Everhart, like I said, she uses a French accent throughout the course of this film. Sometimes it's dead on, sometimes it's not so great. Other than that, she did a pretty good job. We know John Wells is awesome. We know Eric Roberts is awesome. And we know Daniel Baldwin is a seasoned veteran and is very good at what he does. Now, some of the other players in this film, some of the minor characters is really where I had a problem with. A lot of the minor characters weren't quite as good at delivering their lines, whether they had a lot of them or not, as some of the seasoned actors. And this really showed in the beginning of the movie with Daniel Baldwin, who only had a few lines, but his delivery of those lines, you could just tell were much more polished than some of the people he was interacting with. So good on Daniel for delivering his stuff in a top-notch way. I know some of the other guys may not be as seasoned, or maybe they were paid to be in, like they pay their way into the film, possibly through a perk or just trying to be a part of something and get an IMDb credit. Because some of the minor characters didn't work as well for me. Some of the other minor characters, though, did really well. Now, two of those minor characters were played by Robert Stanley and Sarah Nicklin, which was Princess Sabine and Matthias. They both did great jobs. They had modest parts. They weren't the stars, but they didn't have a minor character. They were right in the middle, and they both did a really good job. So props to them on that. Another actress that did a really good job was Kim Kelly as Joan. I really liked her part, and when you're watching the film, they try to have an aha moment with Joan in the middle of the film between her and Princess Sabine, but I don't think it came off as well as an aha moment for me, because I really wasn't fooled from the start when I saw the character, but nonetheless, I really enjoyed her character, and I enjoyed her much more when the helmet came off, we'll say. Another actor that did a really good job was Kevin Sorbo, who played Captain Boulder in this. And it's not a surprise that Kevin Sorbo did a good job. Kevin Sorbo is a consummate professional. He was Hercules. He's very familiar with the sword and sorcery and fantasy type things. And he fit right in, kind of, like picking up an old bike and getting back on. He just picks up where he left off with Hercules. Did a great job, and I liked his character. Good stature, good screen presence. Kevin Sorbo sadly gets underused these days, and I don't know if that's for personal reasons, political reasons, religious reasons, but he is sorely underused throughout Hollywood, and I was glad to see him in this film. But as I said, overall production was really well done, and like I said, the Mahal brothers have become masters of not only crowdfunding and getting the money to do it, but making that money go very far. So I don't know if they rented a castle for a week to shoot this film in. I feel like the whole film was probably shot at the castle and probably on castle grounds, but the way it was shot using different areas and expansive angles and close angles, it made it feel like you were in different areas of the world versus everything being shot in one spot. So they did a really good job expanding the universe while having a little bit of room to work with. The other thing that should be noted is the look of the monsters in this movie. Now, there's really no special CGI effects. There's a couple of blood shots that were probably CGI'd in post-production that they probably could have gone without, but they put a lot of practical special effects into the actual monsters themselves. There's like 2 or 3 of them in this, actually there's 3 or 4 of them in this movie that were all really well done. Looked pretty authentic, nothing too cheesy, no rubber suits, no zippers could be seen, no buttons to be flawed. So the monsters looked really good. Creepy, gory, slimy, you name it, the monsters looked it, and it came off really well. And it wasn't just the monsters that looked good. The characters themselves looked good. I think it's easy in sword and sorcery and fantasy type movies for the budget to get eaten up by legitimizing your armor and your look. And I think the Mahal brothers did a really good job getting stuff that looked period correct, maybe not 100% accurate, but good enough for this movie that it's going to pretty much go unnoticed. And the prosthetics that were used, in some cases like John Wells' character, the facial scars, the eye being gone, you'll have to watch to find out why, but stuff like that all looked really good. The makeup looked good, the costumes looked good, everything seemed to come together really, really well for these guys in this film. Overall, I'd give Devil's Night a solid 6.5, maybe even a 7 out of 10. I had a really good time watching this film. And I think it's easy to be cynical, as I say. It's easy to be cynical with independent films, but I didn't have much criticism with this. I mean, the storyline I mean, it was a little mucky in some parts. I think they wanted to try and throw some subplots in there that I don't think were executed as well as the overall wraparound storyline. But overall, a pleasant experience. If you like monsters, if you like sword and sorcery, if you like fantasy type movies, this movie's got a little bit for everybody, honestly. It does come off as type of a horror type thing with some of the bloodshed and gore, but it's not too overpowering where you're going to get up and walk away from it. So overall, great film. I had a good time watching it. I definitely recommend everybody checking it out when it comes out. I really do appreciate Sonny and Michael Mahal sending me the screener and letting me take a look at this. It puts a lot of, they put their confidence in me to do a good review, and I hope I did right by them. So I really appreciate that, guys. You guys should definitely check out some of their other films. Like I said, I did a video for them a couple months ago for Arena Wars. They've been working very hard on Alien Horde, which is hopefully going to be coming out in 2025. And that looks really cool from some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I've seen. So check them out on Facebook, Mahal Empire, Sonny and Michael Mahal. Check me out on Facebook. Like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. And I'll see everybody in the next video.